Well. Don't I have a story for you? Alright, so this morning was stressful. Probably the most stressed I have been in a very long time because I am doing some of that. That's right, I'm doing a van build. And this morning, it wasn't this sunny. And this morning, I had a gaping hole in my van. In the roof of my van. Oh, look how beautiful these things are. Wow. They remind me of my grandma. So, I did it though. Look at that. There she is. We have a fixed hole. We have a beautiful, roof vent in there. But look, let me tell you, this morning I was stressed as all hell. So let's get into it. Let's get into story time, hey? Let's get into story time. This is my little workstation. As you can see, there's stuff everywhere around in here. This is the garage. My father's garage. That's now my garage. Hey, Dad. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Alright. So, what happened? What happened? Well, I was meant to do this a while ago. This entire van build. I mean, I bought this van in July last year, June last year, 2023. It's now October 2024. And, man, it's been, yeah, it took me 12 months to actually go and do this. So between now and then, I've been doing the healing sessions, the frequency healing. Some of you may know me on the timeless sessions, the timeless streams, or the frequency streams. And that's kind of what I do. That's how I make a living. And even beyond that, even beyond paid work, it's a consciousness and it's a vibrancy that I just operate at now. Yeah, I just operate from that space of, hey, like, what fun could we create today? What fun can I create? Can I be? Yeah. And so that's where the van build came in. I have no experience. I have no experience, like, no experience. Just, yeah, just a desire to explore what's possible. Because it's like, why not? Why not? That's fucking cool. Let's go build some stuff, build some shit, right? So, uh, yeah. So here I am now, and I just fitted the roof vent, right, to circulate the van. Because the biggest thing for me, I had run in with mold. Some of you know I had run in with mold in Maroubra a couple of times, a couple of homes that I moved into. And so health and ventilation is really important to me. So if I'm going to be traveling around in this thing, I had to get ventilation, right? I had to get nice airflow. So all right, I got to do a roof vent. A roof vent. So and shout out to Mike who sent me over a PDF with things on how to actually build a van. How to actually do a conversion with a guide and countless hours on YouTube just sussing it out. Anyway, so let's get into this. Let's get into this roof fan. So I woke up this morning quite early, and even last night I moved the van because there's this freaking hole in it, I was like, man, if it rains, like there's some holes in the base of the base of the van, so it's fine. Like it'll like clear out. But I was like, so I'm stressed. So I moved the van to a point where where it was on an angle, so the water would go out, and I kind of left the back door open a little bit. So I wake up this morning and I notice like it's overcast. So I'm like, oh my, oh boy, okay, I gotta get to this quick. And that night I was up for quite a few hours, just again for the what time I don't know how many times I've gone over it, but I went over it again, and I found these more videos on how to actually do how to fit a vent onto the roof even more tightly, right? With this seal, this it was this butyl or mastic seal, um, and so that's what I did. I got up and I just went. I got to work, and I fumbled my way. Oh gosh, it's just too funny, This the mastic tape, like the butyl plastic, the butyl tape that I was taping around the edges of this vent to keep it in it, because there's ridges, right? There's a couple of ridges on the aluminium on the steel on the top of the van. So to have it flush, you can't have it flush. So I'm using this butyl tape. It's like this plastic tape. Where is it? Here we go. It's like this tape, right? It's this tape. It's very sticky, and I'm pulling it out, and it's like sticking to itself. I'm like, fuck, like, it's like in this, I'm like, fuck. So I like scrunch it up in this ball. Oh, where is it? Where'd the ball go? Anyway, I thought it was in here, in my little rubbish bin, but anyway, somewhere. Not in there. And yeah, and so I get through that, and then I battle my way through that, and finally I get into this rhythm, and it's so cool, and this is why learning new things is it's just amazing. It's super cool, right? So by the end of me doing this little tape, yeah, I'd created a system where, I would, instead of just going iron it out, like I know I need that much, and then I'd chop it out and do that, I would chop it, and then I would just chop it again. I knew that I needed 4 little strips, so I'd cut this, and then I would lay it on top of this strip, cut it, and then I'd lay it on top, cut it, lay it on top, cut it. Uh, and then I found out that I could just use the paper, spare paper that I had to measure out the new distance, and then I would enclose that newly cut tape with this tape, so it was like sandwiched in between the white plastic thing, right? And then that was even easier to cut through, right? A new layer, a new strip that I could then put down on the roof vent. And the first one versus my last strip on the roof, totally different, right? And way cleaner, way more efficient, way more smooth, yeah. And so initially, um, you know, for those listening, you might go through a process, whether it's learning, whether it's through the timeless process, yeah, with sessions and things like that, or even just whatever it is. Initially, it looks rough. Initially, it's real rough, it's messy, but then over time, you become more efficient, right? You become efficient, more efficient, right? Because you're learning, you're getting better at it, you're mastering something. So I thought that was super cool. So what was the next step? Oh, the next step. One moment, please. The next step was this bad boy, and this is called Sikaflex, and it was to Sikaflex the underside. So this, I've still got to attach this, but this is the underside of the roof vent, right? So underneath, I'm gonna go, yeah, so it looks nice and flush. But on the top side of it, I had to Sikaflex the whole thing to then sandwich in, right, up the top, right, to stick to the steel. And so I start again, same thing. It looks a bit rough at the start, and then I get the hang of it. I'm like, woo, and it's looking real nice. Yeah, he's the Sikaflex, and this was something for the, I worked on boats. The first year out of school, I actually worked on boats. So for 10 months out of high school, I worked on pearling boats for Pass Bailey Pearls. Look them up; they're pretty cool. And there was this saying out there: if you don't know the knot, just tie lots. Something like that. It was like, don't know the knots, just tie lots. So it's basically saying, if you don't know what knot to tie on something, just tie a lot, so you don't lose the thing that you are tying down. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, same principle. If you're not really sure, just be sure. Go overboard. Better to go overboard with the Sikaflex, right? With the glue. And this is glue. Yeah. Better to go overboard than underboard, right? So I went wild with it. And I'm getting up and the clouds are coming in. I'm like, fuck man, when is it gonna rain? Like I'm just like, God. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get up and I kind of eye it, and it doesn't fit. I eye it out. I'm like, boom. It's like still like kind of like on the side because of the tape, right? The tape's really sticky, so it's hit that because I fitted it before and it was fine. Anyway, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, fuck. I'm stressing out, so I'm like, shit. So I jam this thing in and like, go, I'm like, okay, sweet. So I like get down, like, fuck. So I get down. Because the hole in the root, man, like if you screw this up, like your hole, it's screwed, right? So I go down and I go inside the van and I'm looking upside, I'm looking there and I'm like, damn, this is like wonky and this is like, so I like pull it through and it's like more, I'm like, oh my gosh, this does not look good. Like, so I pull it through and then I, push it down more. I'm like, fuck, what do I, so I get my, hold on 1 second. One moment, please. Do you want to star in my video?
Right.
Do you want to star in my little update?
So you,
Do you want to star in my update? Okay.
no. I'm going to look all over line.
What do you think? Alright.
In the shadows.
In the shadows?
Yeah. Crikey.
Yeah, mate.
Mate, this is all.
This is all my stuff.
I can't even get to my stuff.
Yeah, man, it's gone.
Right.
Just let go,
Has Annie turned up?
No.
Oh,
Cool.
no, we can smell it, but yes, the. Oh, is that your brush? Jesus.
Yeah, that's my brush.
Have you spoken to that next door?
No.
Because if you go.
Yeah, I know. I need to.
Well, I don't know whether you should or whether you should just disappear, mate.
Yeah, I know, but that's
Yeah.
pretty dog,
Yeah.
So I stopped doing it. I'll tell you about this. I stopped doing it when the car was there. I found a bloke came up to me. He was like, "Dude, I'm just like letting you know, like."
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's like, "Dude, like, this goes on their car. It's gonna like."
Well, they've got to be very careful about how they wash it, because if it goes into a washer and they do that straight away, it's just going to rub You really need to hose it down.
Yeah.
Why don't you offer to hose it initially?
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. No, I've said
I don't know.
it came up it came up, and I was like, I gotta let them know.
Well, you haven't seen, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I've got a note. I'll write them a note and just be like, look, whatever it is, whatever the damage is. I know.
The damage could be significant, right? Because it's pockmarked over the whole car. It's not just like it's all along the side and on the roof.
Yeah.
So they've got to be careful not to, when they clean it initially, just to wash it with hot water first.
Okay.
Not to put it into a
Scrubby scrub.
scrubby scrub where it'll grind, all the little bits will just get they may not just get wiped off, they might get ground in.
Yeah, okay.
That's what.
Well, I'm even thinking about the van, you know, because there could be shit all over the van.
Oh, there probably is. I'll do the same. That hose the van down too.
Yeah.
And how's your vent working?
Yeah, it's open, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Well,
Cool. Yeah, so that was another thing. Yeah, I got to speak to the neighbours. Yep. Got to speak to the neighbours and just let them know what's up, you know, because I may have messed up a little bit. But hey, we make mistakes. I'm going to communicate that. And if there's anything that I owe them, I'm going to let them know. You know, hey, here's my number, right? So, this, right? So I got, anyway, but that's an important note as well. Like, you know, quite vulnerable, right? My father just showing up and talking about that, so you guys heard that. But it's important to communicate things, you know? And, because, yeah, I didn't realize, but stripping some of the paint, stripping some of the rust, if it goes on another car, then those little metal fragments kind of fuck up the paint, fuck up the paint. So I'm gonna have a chat with my neighbors and be like, yo, this is what's up. Can I clean your car? Can I wash it? And then also just, you know, if anything goes wrong, here's, you know where, here's my number, basically. You know, because it's important to be open, and it's important. I mean, that's human, right? Do unto others which you would want done to you, right? So, clamps. So the van's, the roof's in, and then I'm like, okay, so fuck, I gotta clamp these things. And I realized that I couldn't clamp them on because of the fly screen. Yeah, and there was no, so I'm like, so I've just poked the fly screen, pulled it off. Luckily it was already kind of ripped off, so I've ripped off on the sides the fly screen, jammed these in from the side, all angles, just trying to, I'm literally fumbling my way through this, guys. Just jamming this on, getting it down, you know, this side's good, and then I go back up on the top and I see it level, and I'm like, fuck, you know, this side's way up, this side's kind of level, and again, just going around, and I have 6 of these, so I'm just adjusting, and I'm like, this is not good. so I went back up with the Sikaflex because there was these gaps, right? So I'm like, shit. So I'm just pumping this Sikaflex underneath the top of the, you know, the roof vent and the van, right? I'm just pumping this Sikaflex, the glue, and yeah, at this point I'm stressing. I'm like, okay, it's all good. Like, I'm fixing this. It's like, okay, what's the next step? What do I need to do? You know, but what's the lesser of two evils, right? It's like, what can I do just to make this better? Doesn't have to be perfect, and I can clean it up afterwards. I just need to make this waterproof and sealed, like, really nicely. So I ended up jumping on another YouTube video, watched that for a little bit, and noticed that he drilled through, because I had drill holes on top of this, on this vent. And I was umming and ahhing whether do I drill through or not, right? Do I drill more holes through my roof van? And I saw that this guy was doing it, and I thought, you know what? This is the only way that's going to... Oh, that's what I missed. I had a wooden frame, right? I traced a wooden frame underneath, so there was a wooden frame clamped, you know, like clamped, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, clamped. So I'm like, you know what? The next best thing to really get this tight is to drill into the wood, to drill through the van wood and just tighten it up. So that's what I did. And the first one I did, it again didn't go well. Didn't go well. So, but then it did go well. So I'm stressing, and it wasn't like clicking in. Like, I had a drill bit. So I had this drill bit, right, that I kind of prepped and then I went and had where the and then I had another drill, which is I'm using as the stand for this phone, with with whatever thing that I needed. Yeah, whether Phillips head or there was a square head drill bit for the screws, and thankfully it locked in. Thankfully, I did another hole because that hole wasn't working. So I did another hole, and thankfully, it just went and like, thank God, and all this Sikaflex like oozed out the side, right, as it went super tight. So I just went at it, just tied in these things, right, and just like slowly the Sikaflex coming out the sides, and like we're getting tight, right? We're getting sealed in. So yeah, so it all worked, right? Eventually it worked. And some of so I'll go show you it now. But my gosh, it actually looks pretty good. So still gotta let it dry. But here she is. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but can you see that? That's the fly screen. So I'll glue that back on. And yeah, and then I just sealed the sides. So I sealed the sides and sealed the top of the nails. So there we go. Another stressful yet accomplished feeling. So on to the next, guys. On to the next. If you got this far, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I might see you Wednesday for the frequency stream as well. But I'll definitely do another one of these on the updates on the van. So we made it.